Over the past few years, there has been one question that people have asked us more than any other question.
And that question is, where did this ministry get started? How did it get started?
So I have no experience with ministry. I came from the business world. I spent 35 years as a business consultant, and I helped people make more money or I helped them lose less money. And that was my path. And I did that for a long, long time and really thought I would retire and maybe get to go fishing a lot. I never thought I would be fishing for men and delivering hope all around the world.
So when I was 16 years old, I went to school one day, and at chapel, there's a student that came and talked about his mission trip to the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. And I decided to go home that night and go to my parents and say, hey, I think this summer I should probably go to Brazil. Not really knowing why, not really having any more information, but kind of left them with that decision.
So my wife, Savannah's mother, and I looked at each other when she said she wanted to go to the Brazilian Amazon, and we quickly thought, oh boy, that's a really far way away on a trip that's a little scary as a parent. So we decided that at that point we would tell Savannah that if she raised all the money for this trip, that she could go on this trip. So we were doing a little reverse psychology move at that point. And we thought for sure there was no chance she was going to raise the $3,500 to be able to go on this trip.
But 2 weeks later, that $3,500 came in, and we decided at that point someone was going to have to go with me probably. My parents thought maybe having their 16-year-old daughter go to Brazil for first time out of the country was not the best idea to do by herself, and so they drew straws, and my dad ended up drawing the straw where he was the one that went with me. And so we went to some team meetings, and we ended up that next summer getting on a plane, flying to Manaus, Brazil, and that's where we boarded the riverboat to go down the Amazon River.
But I want to be really, really clear. I did not go because I had a love or compassion for the Brazilian people. I had just started a relationship with Jesus, maybe 4 or 5 years before that, and I still wasn't even really comfortable with my own relationship with Christ. So my only role in going on that trip is to bring my kid home from the Brazilian Amazon, where there's anacondas and caimans and piranha and all these scary things. So I went as her dad. I did not go because I thought this was a mission trip. But the things that I saw on that trip stretched me in such a way that really changed the rest of my life.
So they divided us up into teams where they said, hey, this team one day is going to go do VBS, this team is going to go and help fix houses, and this team is going to go and be the faith team, where they're going to go to homes and basically teach people about who Jesus is, what it looks like to have a relationship with him. I went to the VBS team, and my dad ended up getting placed on the faith team.
Which for me, I'm going to be honest, was not ideal. I was hoping to get on the soccer team or even wash dishes on the boat at that point, because I had no idea what it looked like to share my faith. I was so out of my element. I was stretched in a way that I was uncomfortable. So for 3 days, I had to go knock on doors, and I visited there with the translator and some other missionaries, and we told people what we're going to do in their village that day, and then we prayed over them. But if I'm honest, if they were praying on one side of the house, I was on the other side of the house, and I was praying, but I was praying nobody would talk to me because I was so uncomfortable. And each day I was hoping I would be assigned to a different team, but no, I kept getting assigned to this door-to-door faith team. So on the 3rd day of that trip, once again I was assigned to that faith team. And we boarded a small boat we went across the river and we were visiting this home that's on the side of the river. We got out of the boat, walked along the bank, and then we walked across this wobbly plank onto a dock, and we were greeted by a beautiful Brazilian couple by the name of Marlena and Olivio. And these people were a little shocked seeing Americans on their doorstep. And we asked them if we could visit with them, and we asked them if we could pray with them. And they invited us in very warmly. And I just remember it like it was yesterday because it was so comfortable at that point. They invited us in like we were next door neighbors. And they had never seen people from the Western world on their doorstep before. So once we got into their house, Marlena looked at me and she kind of sized me up a little bit. And she saw I'm just this giant, sweaty American. And she asked me a question through my interpreter. She said, "Are you thirsty?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm thirsty. I mean, this is the Amazon. It's hot, it's humid, I'm dripping with sweat." And I was indeed thirsty. But I looked around that room at that point, and I looked for a refrigerator. I looked for a water cooler, and none of those things existed. So I wondered where she was going to get this water from. So I watched this woman walk into her kitchen, and she takes 2 cups from the shelf. They were mismatched and they were cracked. And she walks outside into this little dock area. And I moved over into the doorway and I was watching her. And she bent down with these 2 cups and she dipped water from the Amazon River. And I remember standing in the doorway thinking, what in the world is this woman doing? There is no way that I'm going to be drinking that. And I thought maybe she's got to water a plant or something. But sure enough, she walks to me and she gives 1 cup of water to me, 1 cup of water to my interpreter. So I was holding this glass of the dirty water and it had things swimming in it. And I'd already decided I couldn't drink this water or I was going to get sick. But as I was pondering this water and that this was all these people had to drink, I heard something that I'd never heard before. Or maybe I should say, I heard something that I'd never listened to before. Now in the past, when my friends that had relationships with God would tell me things like, "Hey, today I got a word from the Lord," or "God gave me this instruction today," I had a specific reaction that I'm not proud of. And that reaction was, come on, did he really stop his day to give you some instruction? But this day in this home in 2012, while I'm holding the glass of dirty water, I clearly heard 2 words. And I heard him say, "Help them." But that "help them" came with no instruction. I didn't know what "help them" meant. Am I supposed to open up my wallet and give them $20? Am I supposed to give them a hug? Am I supposed to cook them dinner? Am I supposed to repair their boat motor? What is help them? So I left there that day with this burden on my heart and this question. What did I just see? What did I just witness? And who was that spoke to me? So I like to say that day in 2012 is where the Lord breathed life into the bucket ministry. That day in 2012 is where God showed me why He had created me.
So we left there that day, flew back to America, and started thinking through, so what does it look like to help them? So we started trying to figure out solutions. And little did we know that that solution that we found is sitting on every shelf on every camping store nearby.
So this wasn't just a random solution. This is a solution that is so incredibly effective, and it's a small portable water filter that attaches to any bucket or receptacle, and by the gravity of water in the bucket, the water will flow through this filter, and the filter membranes will trap all the contaminants, and it will filter down to an absolute 0.1 micron, which for us non-science people means that it takes out bacteria and everything bigger for over 20 years. So the solution that we found is very simple, very effective, and can be used anywhere around the world.
So my dad was so excited about finding this filter that we went down to our local lake, and he had our entire family drink from the local lake to make sure that the filter worked.
And we lived.
And we lived. And so that was kind of how we came about finding the filter and then starting with this as what we would use throughout the years to come in our ministry.
So from a single family in 2012 on the banks of the Amazon River, God has expanded this ministry all around the world to help hundreds of thousands of people.
And I hope that you can see through our story that God is in the business of using ordinary people to accomplish His extraordinary goals.